Let us start with the previous concept, that is business process automation. As you know, business is nothing but commercial activity that can be used for achieving some profits. Automation is nothing but computerization, and then process is nothing but an activity or a set of activities. Basically, a process is nothing but an activity or a set of activities or the events that are used for achieving a specific goal or objective or to accomplish an objective. Basically, we have three categories of processes. Number one is primary process or operational process, secondary process or non-operational process, management process. The major activities of the organization or the core activities of the organization are going to be handled by a model, what you call, it is a core called operational process. What is that? Operational process. Whereas in the case of back-end to the operational process, which always provides some back-end support to the primary processes or operational processes, is said to be a non-operational processes. How the operational and non-operational processes are executing is defined by a management process, which is going to control, coordinate all the activities of a system. Next one. What is meant by business process automation? Explain objectives of business process automation. Business process automation, BPA, is nothing but reducing the human element from the organization so that all business activities, all business operations are going to be executed with the help of computers and information technology infrastructure. The main intention is to provide effectiveness and efficiency. There are four basic elements associated with the BPA called objectives of BPA. Number one is C, confidentiality, I, integrity, A, availability, T, timeliness. Always you need to provide confidentiality of data, secrecy of information, privacy of information, accessibility of information only to the authorized people. Unauthorized people are not supposed to access the data, called as confidentiality. Second category is integrity. What is integrity? Integrity is nothing but unauthorized modifications are not supported. What is that? Unauthorized modifications are not at all allowed. Only authorized person is allowed to access the data. That is not allowed by unauthorized people to modify an operation or outcome. That is called as business process automation, called a BPA. In this case, confidentiality, integrity, availability, timeliness. Whenever there is a request, you need to provide access to the data, called as availability. Accessing of data on time is said to be a timeliness. Availability of data on time is said to be timeliness. Second category, next component is enterprise information system. It is a technology-oriented communication, coordination, controlling and central component that is accessed by all elements is said to be enterprise information system. Now, we are going to move on to the last question. First, that is diagrammatic representations. That is part number 4, because part number 4 is somewhat high importance when compared with other. Still, order is not the important criteria. We are going to complete part number 4 first, then we move on to remaining topics. In this part 4, we have a component called question number 16, important question called data flow diagram called DFD. What is that? Data flow diagram DFD. Listen. In general, any information can be represented in a diagrammatic representation. Modeling. We have various categories of modelings. Logical modeling, conceptual, logical or conceptual, physical, abstract and so forth. Basically, in the case of designing or modeling, we have, as far as our topic is concerned, we have 2 categories of modeling technique or designing technique or diagrammatic techniques. Number 1 is data flow diagram DFD, data flow diagram called DFD. Second one is a flow chart. We have various categories of diagrams: data flow diagram, DFDs, use case diagrams, entity relationship diagrams, ER models. Next one is deployment diagrams, transition diagrams, transaction diagrams and so forth. We have different types of designing techniques, design tools. Around 15 categories of diagrams are there. Use case diagram, class diagram, object diagram, transition diagram, transaction diagram, deployment diagram, state chart diagram. All these elements are come under a separate subject, that is UML, Unified Modeling Language. That is for designing or modeling. As far as our topic is concerned, we have only 2 categories of diagrams. Number 1 is flowchart, second one is DFD. Let me start with DFD. Later we go for flowchart. Right. The name itself suggests data flow diagram, DFD. What is that? Data flow diagram. Let us go through one example, then I go for the topic. If the customer and there is an ATM counter, finally he received some cash or money from ATM. When the customer swiped the card at ATM counter or insert the card onto the ATM machine and he enters a PIN number, personal identification number, he need to provide a PIN number. This computer called a machine verifies the data related with the customer accounts. It verifies the data related with the customer accounts. It provides responses. Finally, it produces a cash along with some printed slip. Or a customer may receive what? A customer may receive a statement in the terms of log, in the terms of a message. Here, customer is a source. Customer is an entity. Customer is nothing but entity. Entity may be either source or destination or a drain or a sink. Sink or a drain or a destination. Customer is an entity, either provide input to the process. ATM is a process. Automatic teller machine is a process. Process is nothing but a transformation activity which transforms input into required output. A process can be represented by a circle. Someone used to say that a process can be represented by a circle, or it may be segmented rectangle where we can write underline also. Second one is a process. Here we have a data store or a file. Entire data is going to be stored with the file or a database that is called as data store, that can be represented by open rectangle, or it may be open rectangle or two separate lines like this, or missing element will be added to left hand side. There are three ways to represent data store. This is called as a data store. Finally, we are producing a cache that is called as a entity, called a destination. Next one is customer to the process. That means flow of data from source to process, process to database, database to process, process to destination. That is called as a data flow. What is that? Data flows. That is called data flows. Data flows can be represented by arrow marks. These are the marks which are used for flow of data. Sometimes we are going to provide immediate information, that is called as real-time link. It look like this: credit card verification, credit card processing. You need to check for the amount existed in the cash, what you call amount available, remaining amount for this particular month can be acquired. Accordingly, we are going to process. This is data flow diagram. In this case, we have entity, a process, data store, data flows, real-time link. Customer is a source. Customer swipe the card and he enters a PIN number that is going to be validated by using accounts database or accounts file, and provides, if sufficient amount, sufficient balance is available, we can provide outcome, that is in the terms of cash. So, data flow diagram determines the graphical element which provides where to read the data, where to store, where to process, when to produce output. The total element is said to be data flow diagram. Say this. Data flow diagram shows the flow of data or information from one place to another place in an information system. In an information system. Data flow diagram basically provides what data a system process, that means it must accept the data. What data a system process, what transformations are performed. What are transformations? Input will be converted into output is said to be a transformation. What transformations are performed, what data are stored, what results are produced, and when they flow. That means all components can be defined in a form of overview. What data a system process, what transformations are performed, what data are stored, what results are produced, and when they flow. All these elements will be provided by data flow diagram. If anyone can see the data flow diagram, they can understand the logic within the system. Even naive users, non-experts may understand. It is mainly used by technical people for graphically communication between the system analyst and programmer. Programmer is more of technical knowledge. But our problem must be converted into technical knowledge by a person called analyst. What are major components of data flow diagram? I told you this is a process. It may be a circle or a segmented rectangle. Circle or segmented rectangle. A step-by-step instructions are followed that transforms the input into output. That is, a computer or a person are both doing the work. Second one is data process. First one is a process. Second one is data flow. I told you, input to the process, process to data store to output. Everything will be provided by a data flow. Data flowing from a place to place, such as an input to output or to a process. Next one, external agent. I told you this is entity. Entity may be either source or destination. This is in the terms of rectangle. The source or a destination of the data outside the system is called as external agent or a entity or a source or a destination. Sink, drain, agent, anything is okay. Next one is data store. See, this is not the data store because it is also a rectangle. Just this component should have open rectangle. What is that? It should be a open rectangle. Right hand side missing element will be added to this, or we can write open lines as well. Open lines. Data at rest, that is, data is stored. Being stored for the future usage, usually corresponding to a data entity. In the case of entity relationship diagram, we are not having the content related with the entity relationship model. These elements are similar to that. Data that is stored for current usage or future usage, that's it. Next one is real-time link. This is called real-time link. Communication back and forth between external agent and a process. As the process is executing, for example, credit card verification. So, these are major components of data flow diagram. Now, let us go through an example. In the case of engineering colleges or degree colleges, every student will get library tokens, library ticket, library card. They are able to access reference books or regular books, prescribed books. Based upon the rules and regulations, some librarians allow the textbook to be allocated for 7 days or sometimes 10 days. After completion of 7 days, they have to submit the book and acquire renewal. Otherwise, they will be final, they will be penalty. That is, they will be getting some fine. That's what we are calculating, how we are calculating. That is, in the case of a data flow diagram, our intention is to compute. Our intention is to calculate. What? Fine. What is that? Fine. A simple scenario representing a book borrowed from a library being returned and fine should be calculated due to delay. Here, book is an entity. Book is known as a source. Book is known as a source. Source will provide data to the process. What we have to perform? Every book is associated with some barcode. We have to scan the barcode. It is a process. It is called as a label on the data flow. When you scan the barcode, it produces book identification number. This book identification number is going to be verified with the library database. That means, library database will provide you what? That is, what is the expected date of return. It may be expired or still remaining. Return date. If number of days is 7, return days is also 7, so no problem, fine is equal to 0. If you need to submit the book within 7 days, but you are keeping the book for 1 month, you are holding book for 1 month. So you need to pay fine for 23 days. Each day may be around 50 paisa or 1 rupee. Accordingly, we are going to calculate the fine amount that is going to be paid by a student or a borrower. Book is represented as an external entity. Book is represented as external entity. I told you, external entity will provide input or produce or receive output. And the input is barcode. Every book must be identified by a barcode. In order to avoid the entry of data, we are using a mechanism called a scanning process. The process is scanning of barcode and it produces an output of book ID. The next process calculates the fine based on accessing the library database and establishing due back date when he need to submit the book. Compare it. If both are equal, fine is equal to 0, otherwise he need to pay fine. Finally, fine is communicated to the borrower, who is also shown as external entity. I told you, entity may be either source or a drain or a destination. Source will provide input or produce output. What is a process? A process is nothing but a transformation activity that accepts the input and produces output. Data store, data at rest. It may be a file or a database. Entire data is going to be stored with that. So this is an example of data flow diagram. Data flow diagrams can be divided into multiple number of levels, that is 0 level. That 0 level data flow diagram is called as context level DFD. Level 1 DFD, level 2 DFD. More detailed versions is said to be level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. Level 0 is called as context level diagram, which represents overall structure of a system. For example, when the customer swipes the card and enters a PIN number, if the PIN number is not correct, then what happens? It displays your PIN is invalid. Please try again or re-enter the PIN. If it is entered for 3 times wrong PIN number, automatically a machine represents a display message that is your PIN number is not valid, your account blocked for 24 hours. So, more detailed element is said to be level 1. Again, ATM machine. A machine may capture the data. Customer swipe the card and he wants to withdraw 10,000 rupees, but his account contains only 5,000 rupees. Is it possible to produce 10,000 rupees even the customer holding only 5,000 rupees balance. No, it must define some message, your insufficient funds in your account. More detailed elements is also possible, that is called as a data flow diagram. Next one, another important question, but see, if I want to explain question number 15, that itself, in general, I require minimum of 6 to 7 hours. But based upon our time, I try to explain you some example flow chart, because if you want to understand this flow chart, question number 15, you need to draw minimum of 10 to 12 flow charts. Minimum of 10 flow charts. If you understand all those 10 flow charts, then only you can understand this flow chart. That's why let we go through a question number 10, discuss the concept of flow chart. All of you listen carefully, very important. See, in general, there are different categories of development process. In any case, there are two important elements. Number one is algorithm, second one is a flow chart. A step-by-step process for solving a problem. What is that? A step-by-step process for solving a problem. Algorithm is nothing but a step-by-step process for solving a problem is said to be algorithm. Graphical representation of algorithm is said to be a flow chart. Once flow chart is drawn, then we go for program. If you want to write a program, you have to learn a language. It may be C language, Pascal, COBOL, Fortran, Java, Python, C++, and so forth. So, flow chart is easily understood by any user because everything is in the terms of a symbols. Everything can be treated in the form of a graphical. Flow charts can provide you a tool for documentation. We can identify where the components are there, where we are drawing, where we are writing something, what kind of inputs we are taking, where the data is stored, what kind of processes that are applying, and we are producing output. All these environmental elements are provided by a flow chart. Right? Question number 10. A flow chart is a diagram prepared by the programmer of sequence of steps involved in solving a problem. I have divided algorithm and flow chart into two parts. What is algorithm? Algorithm is nothing but a step-by-step process for solving a problem. Algorithm is nothing but a step-by-step process for solving a problem. What is flow chart? Graphical representation of algorithm. So, a flow chart is a diagram prepared by the programmer of the sequence of steps involved in solving a problem. Flow charts are used in designing and documenting simple processes and programs. I told you in the first step itself, that is, in order to modeling a system, we are using various categories of diagrams. One of such diagram is a flow chart. Flow chart always visualize, shows what is going on, and thereby helps to understand a process and perhaps also finds flaw, error, bottleneck, weakness, and other less obvious features in it. two most common types of boxes in the flowchart. I will tell you once symbols are over. Right. See, we are having various categories of symbols in the case of flowchart. We have list of symbols, but we require only limited number of symbols. Symbols used in flowchart. Symbols used in flowchart, right? Carefully observe. A rectangle with rounded edges, or someone used to say that oval, ellipse, but I used to say it is a rectangle with rounded edges, segmented rectangle, I can say, is for start or stop, begin or end, you can write anything. And there is a symbol called a parallelogram. A parallelogram, it can be used for either taking input or producing output. These symbols are very, very important. If you understand these symbols, then only you can draw a flowchart. And a rectangle is for computation or processing, calculation. See, you should not compare the symbols in flowchart with DFDs. DFD is a separate subject, flowchart is a separate subject. Like your accounts and financial management. Like DT and other subject law. Like that, here also we have a separate subject. DFD concept is separate, flowchart concept is separate. ER diagrams are separate. That's why don't combine the symbols. Sir, you told me that rectangle is for entity in the case of DFD, sir. That is a different concept. The same rectangle can be used for defining the state also, object also in other diagrams. So, a rectangle with rounded edges is for start and stop. A parallelogram, input or output. Rectangle for processing. And we have a rhombus, that is for decision making. That is for decision making. Generally, decision making provides you two alternatives, either yes or no, true or false. And then, if you want to print the output, sometimes you may use the same parallelogram for printing. At the same time, we may have other symbol for printing, that is called a print symbol. What is that? Print symbol. Sometimes you are drawing a flowchart that is not fit in a single paper. It requires two papers. That's why we are going to use a page connector called a circle to connect one page to another page. And then these elements are said to be flow lines. All these elements are called as flow lines. Let us see. A flow chart is a graphical representation of algorithm, pictorial representation of algorithm. Flow chart is a tool that is used for providing documentation in a graphical manner. Flowcharts can be used for writing good programming. Flowcharts can be used for identifying the bugs in a program. Flowcharts always allows you to communicate the logic to other people, isn't it? It is well suited for documentation. So, symbols that are used in flowcharting, rectangle with rounded edges called start and stop, input or output, processing, decision making, print symbol, page connection, flow lines. These are various symbols that are used in flowchart. I told you, graphical representation of an algorithm, pictorial representation of an algorithm is said to be a flowchart. Right. Question number 10, point number 4. Two most important types of boxes in flowcharts. A processing step, I told you, usually called as activity, that is denoted by rectangle. Yes, this is called as a rectangle. This is for processing activity. A decision, usually denoted by a diamond symbol. See this, decision making, condition checking is said to be a rhombus. Rhombus can be used for presenting decision making activity. Yes. How to draw a flowchart? See this, we have multiple number of symbols, but we require some set, that's it. Rectangle for process, decision making, input, start. They may use different types of starts, data, sequential data, direct data. We have multiple number of symbols. These symbols, all symbols are not needed. Whatever the symbols are given to you, that are sufficient. I want to draw a flowchart for finding addition of two numbers. I want to add two numbers. See, first we go through examples, then only we go for explanation regarding question number 11. Okay. I want to perform addition of two numbers. For that, the first step we need to perform is analysis. Second one is algorithm. Third one is a flowchart. Once flowchart is over, then we are going to write a language program by using some language, either C, C++, Java. We are going to write a program. What is the question? Finding of sum of two numbers or addition of two numbers. What is that? Addition of two numbers. Let us start. For every system, you need to get input, process, and also output. There are important elements. We have to give input to the system, perform processing activity, and producing output activity. Input, process, and output. What is algorithm? I told you, a step-by-step process for solving a problem. What is flowchart? Graphical representation of an algorithm. Pictorial representation of an algorithm is said to be a flowchart. Algorithm always in the form of a step-by-step process. Flowchart in the terms of graphical representation. Yes, I want to add two numbers. What input you require? It is very, very important step in the case of drawing a flowchart. First, you need to identify inputs. What inputs you require? You require two inputs, that is two numbers A and B. We require two numbers A and B. What is the computation activity? Sum is equal to A plus B. A and B values are added and sum will be stored. Result will be stored in the variable called sum. Sir, I want to take C as a variable. Right, sir, your choice, no problem. You can take anything, but not A and B. What output you need to print? Finally, we are producing some output value. Analysis determines what is the input, where we are computing what output, that is It determines inputs, processes and outputs. Algorithm. Start. You have to read two numbers. Read A and B. Compute or calculate sum is equal to A plus B. We have to print the value called sum. Finally, it is stop. What are the inputs, processes and output is determined by analysis. Algorithm. A step-by-step process for solving a problem is called an algorithm. Now, we have to draw a flowchart for that. I request you to all of you use only capital letters while drawing a flowchart. If you draw something in the capital letter that is easily understood by examiner, don't use normal letter. Always try to present capital letter. First write down the content, then add the symbol. Somebody used to say that, used to do. This is a symbol. They are going to write like this. Someone writes like this. This is a start symbol. Don't do that. Try to write down the content first. We know that a rectangle with rounded edges is for start. Next step is we have to read two numbers. Read A, B. What is the symbol we have to use? We have to use a parallelogram for taking either input or output. What is the process? Sum is equal to A plus B. A and B values are added. Once the process is completed, we are going to print the value called print sum. Again, I am using parallelogram. Finally, the flowchart ends with end symbol or stop. Yes, start, read AB, sum is equal to A plus B, then print the value called sum and then stop. What it determines? A flowchart is a graphical representation of algorithm. Whatever the steps in the algorithm are reflected in the flowchart in a graphical manner. By using this, we can write a program, but for that you have to learn the language. I will show you how program will look like. This is not needed for you, just I want to show you how a program look like. I am using C language program. It is a command line. Program to find some value. You have to write header files. I told you if you learn minimum of 40 to 50 days, then only you can understand what all these are. Console input output header file. There should be a mains program. It must be opened. Variables must be declared A, B and sum. Printf, enter any two numbers. You have to read it. you need to calculate sum is equal to a plus b, printf sum value is percentage d, and this is some output acquired immediately. This is not needed for you, but I want to tell you that if this is a C language program, if you learn a C language for minimum 40 to 50 days, then you can understand the basics, but that is not needed also. So if you want to write any program, for that we require analysis, algorithm, flowchart, then only we go for a program. Then only we go for a program. All these, this is a C language program. We may have C++, Java, Python and so forth. Just very important, note down. Analysis always determines inputs, process and output associated with the problem. Algorithm, a step-by-step process for solving a problem. Flowchart, graphical representation of algorithm. What is our problem? Our problem is to solve addition of two numbers. For that, what I am taken here, a and b are the two numbers. Sir, I want to take x and y. Your choice, your wish, you can take anything. Computation activity is a and b will be added, sum will be stored in the process, what you call sum variable. A plus b, sum is equal to a plus b. What is the output? Sum. Next one is algorithm. What is algorithm? Step by step. For that, what I have performed? Start, read a and b, compute sum is equal to a plus b, print the sum value, finally stop. Print sum value, finally stop. Next one, flowchart. Graphical representation of algorithm is said to be, don't fill anything, just I want to highlight a point, I am filling it, but don't do that in the case of examination. Don't strike it, don't use any double lines. Flowchart is a graphical representation of algorithm. Here we have a start, rectangle with rounded edges. Our problem is to solve addition of two numbers, that's why read AB, I am computing sum is equal to a plus b and printing the sum value, print sum value, finally end. This is a flowchart. Let us go through another example program. I want to find area of a rectangle. See, for anything you have to remember the formulas. What are the stages here? First one is analysis. What is analysis? Analysis determines input, process and output. Input, process and output. What is the input? What is area of a rectangle? Length into breadth. I am taking L is a length, B is a breadth for easy or convenience. Sir, we want to take length and breadth. Take it, no problem. Sir, we want to take LN, BRE. Okay, no problem. Variable is your choice. What is the final output? The final output must be area. How to calculate the area? Area is equal to length into breadth. But this is totally wrong. In the case of computers, if you write the cross mark, this is called as X, not multiplication. For multiplication, you need to use asterisk, star. Then only we can say that this is area of a rectangle. Length into breadth. in computer programming, we have to use a star, that is called multiplication symbol. What is the second step? Algorithm. What is algorithm? A step-by-step process for solving a problem is said to be algorithm. Let us start. We have to read two values, L and B, compute or calculate. Area is equal to length into breadth. We have to print output called a print area, and then finally stop. We have to draw a flow chart for this algorithm. We have to draw a flow chart for this algorithm. How? Start. A rectangle with rounded edges is nothing but a start. I told you, use only capital letter, uppercase letter. What to do? You have to read length and breadth value, read L comma B. Then what next? You need to compute, you need to calculate the area. Then area is equal to, I told you, L. This is not multiplication, that is X, LXB. But what you require? L into B. This is a multiplication operation. And then we have to print our output area, print area. Finally, we go for end. End also called stop. This is a start, read L comma B, area is equal to L into B, print the area, finally end or stop. This is known as a graphical representation of an algorithm, that is known as a flow chart. What is that? That is called a flow chart. Area of a rectangle, sum of two numbers. I want to check out for area of a circle. How? What is the input for that? What is the input for that? Analysis. Input is only R. R is nothing but a radius. What is the computation? What is the output? Output is area. Area is equal to, what is the formula for area of a circle? Pi r square. What is pi? 3.14 into r square. If you write r square, this is wrong. Computer cannot understand. So what to do? You have to write r into r. There is no need to read a pi value because it is a constant. Algorithm, start, read r, area is equal to 3.14 into r, print area, then stop. Directly I am writing a flow chart. Right? Start. A rectangle with rounded edges. What to read? Read radius of a circle. What to calculate? You need to calculate area is equal to 3.14 into r into r. This is called computation or a calculation. Then we have to print the output. What is the output? Print area. Tomorrow we will use print symbol for other flowchart. But what I mean to say is that we are using the same parallelogram for reading input or output also. Print symbol can be used only for printing. Once it is over, then we are going to write end statement. So arrow marks are very important, that shows the flow. Start, read, or is nothing but you want to write. Yes, this is not understood by other people better. This is called as radius. There is no need to write area. In the case of previous example also, better to write in the right hand side, that is L, length, B, breadth. Area, the name itself gives you meaning. There is no need to write area. So when you use some variables such short codes, at the time for meaning purpose, better to write, because flowchart always provides you easy to understand. For example, I want to calculate area of a rectangle. L is equal to, for example, L is equal to 5, B is equal to 4. Okay. Start. What is L? 5. What is B? That is 4. Area is equal to L. What is L? 5 into 4. What is that? 20. What to print? Print the value called 20. This process is said to be a tracing. This process is called a tracing. Whether we need to check for whether our flowchart is correct or not. That's why we go for print area. Like this also, here also you can write R is equal to 2, 2 into 2 is equal to 4, 4 into 3, 12, 12.46 or something like this. That is the area. So, in this session, we started with diagrammatic representations, that is part 4. I told you 2 categories of diagrammatic representations available. What is that? That is data flow diagram, and also we have graphical representation of algorithm, that is called a flowchart. Graphical representation of algorithm is said to be a flowchart. It can be used for identifying the flaws, errors, or bottlenecks. Flowcharts and DFD. Data flow diagram consists of different components: entity, destination, process, data store, data flows, real-time link. And then flowchart. Before that, you need to understand algorithm, graphical representation, and set of symbols are needed for handling flowchart. Start symbol, stop symbol, input, output, processing, decision making, printing, page connection, data flows. These are the model examples. Tomorrow we will continue with other examples. You need to perform. I may require another 2 classes to complete the flowchart topic. Because if you want to understand question number 15, these are not the all these are the basic elements for understanding of question number 15. That's it. Okay, that's all for today. Meet you tomorrow.